Hi, today I want to talk to you about what I do to protect my succulents from sun damage or over drying. Succulents are hardy, but they will get sun damage and they will over dry. There goes my rabbit again. But let me get back to the subject. One of the things I do to protect it from drying up is, if you can see this, I watered it thoroughly yesterday, but it's pretty dry. Where I live in Southern California, it's dry, windy, and hot. So a lot of what I do to protect it is, one, I put up a tent. I think I showed it to you before. This is the tent that I have put up, and yes, it does help. I've noticed less sun damage on my succulents. Like this one doesn't show any sun damage. Before it had some, or the mother plant did. And I'll show you one that wasn't under the tent. This one wasn't under the tent last week, and you can see the sun damage. I now put it under here, under the shelf, and under the tent, or the, well, I call it a tent, but I guess it's like a mesh covering. And I got the mesh covering at the 99-cent store. It's probably like, I want to say it's around 2.5 feet by 7, and it was just $1. I think if you go to the Wish app, they also sell it to you. I'm not sure. I know I got one that's 6 feet by 10. I can't remember how much it was. It must have been like maybe around $10 or less. But you can also shop there and see if you can get a bargain there. You can also find them at Home Depot. I know they're more expensive there though. Home Depot or Lowe's, they're more expensive there. But that's one of the things I do to protect it from sun damage. Last week it was cloudy. This week it's getting sunnier. One thing though is that as the heat progresses, I am going to have to double this mesh, put another mesh on top of this, but it has helped. And let me talk to you about other stuff I do to protect my succulents from sun damage. Another thing I do to protect my succulents or cacti from sun damage or over drying is that I'm hooked on these pebbles from the Dollar Tree. I'm sure you can get them elsewhere. I just place them like that as decoration, and I've noticed that a lot of the plants that I do this to aren't drying up. They're keeping their moisture. I mean, it's up to your liking. You might find this tacky. I like it, but it's really up to your liking. And as far as pets are concerned, I never seen, as you may know, I have rabbits, and I never seen them eat it, or I never seen my dogs lick it or chew on it or swallow it either. Rabbits go by the scent of the plants, and they won't eat anything that they don't find an attractive scent to. Let me also show you what else I use. I've also used sand from keeping my succulents from over drying, and it keeps it pretty moist. Like, I watered this yesterday and it's still pretty moist. So it depending on where it's at, you might want to or you might not want it to keep moist, but I've noticed that this sand has kept it pretty moist. And this container doesn't have any drainage, and it does have sand. I already drained it. Well, it has these pebbles and it's pretty moist. Another thing that I've done to keep my succulents from over drying is that I have just let leaves or flowers just fall on them. This is the jacaranda flower. You can see the purple on it, and you can see the layers and layers of jacaranda. And as they get older and dry, they just turn brown, so that turns into a mulch. My mom likes putting this bark on them, and you can see the little crescent here. Cute little crescent just growing there. Let me take this weed off. but it keeps it from over drying. And these are things that I do during summer. I wouldn't let these things just fall in my succulents and just leave them there during the winter, because it does create too much moisture, and sometimes it does create mold. But during the summer, I just let them be, because it does protect them from over drying. Oh, let me share this bloom with you. The other time I shared it with you, it wasn't completely blooming, but now it's fully blooming. You can see how 2 of the blooms have already passed on, and there's a new one there. I want to share this with you. Isn't it beautiful? I wish you could see them up close, because I feel like the camera just washes off every color it has. So anyway, going back to the subject, during the summer, I'm just let leaves or flowers just fall on it and just create its own natural mulch or covering. Another thing I do is that if I notice any weeds or herbs, this is a herb. It's my mom uses it for flavoring of noodle soup, but it's growing here wildly. I'll just let it grow, because it does create shade for my succulents. So I'll let that be. And then before then, I don't know if you noticed, but I had already placed some pebbles there to keep it moist. Here you can see where I put pebbles to keep the moisture inside. Again, I know succulents will rot if they have too much moisture, but this one has drainage and it's under the direct sun. And as you can see right here, it does have some sun damage because there isn't any covering where this one's at. So it does have some sun damage, like I was saying, but I do place pebbles, and like I said before, I just let flowers or leaves fall on it and create that moisture. That way it retains the moisture it needs. So anyhow, this was my tip of the day of what you can do to prevent sun damage or to prevent your succulents from drying out. I hope this was helpful to you, and have a good one.